What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Arc, along with Anthony Morrow. I am Colby Daniels. Hope everybody has had a great last week. And my man, what is happening today?
Man, it's all love, bro. Just picked the little ones up from school today, man. They got basketball practice. Same old, brother. Just working, man. Great week.
I
Looking
hear you.
forward to it as usual.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So, on that note, I got to ask you a quick question because I was watching my son at baseball practice last night. I never played professional baseball, obviously, but I played baseball growing up, so there's a part of me that always wants to suggest to him little things, but I bite my tongue and don't do it. I let the coaches kind of do their thing. As a former professional basketball player, how much is there that temptation to step in and try to guide him through it versus kind of trying to keep your hands off of it and let him kind of find his own path? Is that
Let them have fun, bro. Let them have fun.
exactly,
Don't do nothing. Let them have fun.
exactly?
I just picked my oldest, my 13-year-old up from school. He's playing middle school basketball, seventh grade. They play a lot of the eighth graders. He don't play much. I say how much you love the game because we're gonna be in the gym for next year. But just have fun. So I like seeing the camaraderie when they're at that age. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the best part of it. Just seeing them like just with their teammates that are their friends. They play AAU together. They
Yeah,
live in the same neighborhood. So it's like just let them have fun, man. Let them have fun. Now they take it serious. Now it's like, all right, because we got to pay money for you to get better.
right,
You
right.
so it's like it's gonna be good. But luckily, for me, like I have the luxury, like we'll go outside right now in the backyard and just work out all day if you want to. But other than that, I had to kind of step back. Shout out to Kendrick Perkins. He told me you're not gonna be able to train your child forever. You got to get some hands on them with some guys you trust and some people you trust. And he was right about that. So just let them have fun, man.
Yeah.
I love seeing the kids have fun anyway. I
Oh
like
yeah.
just being at the game. Don't ask me about the playoffs. Watch the kids. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
It's a blast until it's his turn to bat and he's in the dugout making fart sounds and they're like, "Get into the batter's box," and he's not even
Yeah.
looking and making, and you're like, "Dude, that's hilarious, but go, you got to get it. It's your turn. Come on."
You see, those are the moments you got to record. So when he's like,
Right.
pull that up in front of his friends and like, look, this is what you was doing when you was like six.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
cool though.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So always good to see the kids doing their thing and progressing along in the athletic fields. All right,
That's right.
let's talk some hoops. Since the last episode, Jalen Williams was hurt in the Miami Heat game last Saturday night, hamstring strain. The Thunder said that he is going to be out for 2 weeks before he'll be reevaluated. That doesn't mean he's coming back in 2 weeks. I think a lot of people get those timeline things. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, so a minimum of 2 weeks. Looking at some of the hamstring strain timelines, a grade one, which is probably, I mean, is the least severe. 1 to 2 weeks is the approximate timeline. Up to a grade three, it's like 3+ months. I mean, it could be extended time if it's a severe strain. So we'll see what his timeline ultimately looks like. Thunder won though on Monday night against Cleveland after dropping the Miami game. Interesting stat, and we'll get into some of the Jalen Williams stuff long term in just a bit. But the Thunder are now 19-1 without Jalen Williams in the lineup, which is just a crazy stat considering he's the second best player on a world championship team. So the short-term conversation, they're getting ready for the Milwaukee Bucks. Rivalry week, according to ESPN. I don't know when ESPN decided OKC and Milwaukee were rivals, but that's beside the point. The Thunder are without Isaiah Hartenstein, both Jalen Williams, J Dub, and J Will, and Alex Caruso is out. So a handful of big time impact players for this team are sidelined as they get ready to go back into action.
Yeah, it's a war of attrition. We talked about it. It's the season. It's 82 games, like we said earlier. They started off what 24-1. I mean, it's part of the season. It's part of the journey. They'll be okay. You said they're 19-1 without J Dub. I
19 and
mean,
1.
19-1 without J. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be who's next man up, and that's what this team is built for. And I think that they're equipped to be able to weather the storm. J Dub be good. Hamstrings is tricky, because you got to really rest that. It's not like a bone. It's not like, something where it's just like a muscle. Like you really have to rest that out. I had a couple hamstring injuries, and it takes a while. You don't know. You can't really gauge your time to come back from that. But with the way the team is made up and equipped to be, they'll be able to get through it. But this is just the adversity that comes with every team, injuries. You know, if it was anything that had anything to do with chemistry, that'd be a concern. They don't have that concern on this team, you know. So it's just going, next man up. Everybody got to be ready to work. Everybody got to be ready to fill their role, and everybody got to be ready to step up. And it's not a lot of teams that's built like that. And OKC is probably the pedigree. They're the standard for that. I'll give you a Denver that's like that as well. You're seeing some younger teams coming up and doing the same thing that's maybe not ready to take the next step. But I mean, that's just what it is. It's part of the journey, and they have to just embrace that. And they're going to embrace it.
Obviously, they started the season in a tremendous way, as you said, 24 and 1 start, tied the NBA record for the best record through 25 games of an NBA season. There was a rough patch for a couple weeks. Like, I think there are some people that think like J Dub came back after missing the early part of the season and he was the reason they started struggling. I think it's probably more of a coincidence that he came back because he did come back at 18 and 1, and they still won 6 games in a row before they kind of hit that bit of a skid. I think it's more of a coincidence that they kind of hit a rough patch than it being like J Dub's fault they hit a rough patch. But that always, I think, gets in the heads of people. And the reality is they haven't played great basketball over the last month or so. And then you get to the Cleveland game, first game without J Dub, and the ball was moving everywhere. It seemed like shots were going down. I mean, shots going in is the fix-all, right? A lot of things look prettier when shots go down, and everybody's shots seem to be dropping against Cleveland. And naturally, there sort of became this reaction of like, look at what they did without J-Dub, and Cleveland's a pretty good team, right? So it's just I think it's more coincidental, but a lot of people are I say a lot of people. There are people on social media, there are people in the national media that are at least asking the question like, long term, is J-Dub a piece that you have to have on this team? I think it was even, I think Chandler Parsons maybe earlier this week said that the Thunder could win a championship without him.
I don't know what I'm not gonna say nothing crazy. No disrespect to Chandler Parsons. But listen, they are not a championship team without him, in my opinion. Like for real, like come on, man, he bring too much to the table. Chandler know that. If he don't know it, he need to know that, and he should know that. Shout out to Chandler, but you know what I mean. Like, come on, bro. Like they need him to be a integral part of that offense, defense, the whole team, on and off the court. You know what I'm saying? Like he a leader. He the second best player on the team. No disrespect to Chet, no disrespect to anybody else. Come on, man, that's J Dub. Two-way player. You can't find nobody like that just hanging out in free agency. Or you just go get him like low-hanging fruit and just go put him on the championship team and he make a difference and he win a chip. Come on, man. We know this. You know what I'm saying? So like it's not like that. Like I think that him coming back, the chemistry gonna have to change. They won 6 straight games when he was out. When he got back, they won 6 straight. Got hurt. Now he hurt again. So at the same time, it's just about the attrition of the season. You talking about injuries? Anybody should know more about that than Chandler Parsons. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to him. I'm just saying, like, he's an integral part to this team. So like that's what's gonna make them take the next step when everybody gets back healthy. The chemistry's gonna change when you lose one of your top pieces when they go out and they come back. Because you got guys that had to be the next man up. Now they got to go back to their roles. Now you got to get this guy back into his role. That's one of our top guys. It's going to change a little bit. It's just about how long is it going to take for y'all to get back and readjust to what we were before the injuries. And if I got to worry about that, I'm cool with that. But if I got to worry about chemistry and
Yeah.
locker room, all this other shit, I don't want to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that can linger on for the whole season and damage a special season. They ain't worried about that. You can't say our number two player that went out, we can win without him. What are you talking about?
No chance. No chance. And it's crazy when people are so short-sighted, forgetting they just won the NBA championship and what a key piece he was in the finals. And I mean, look at the whole playoff run, right? He defends all five positions on the floor from the point guard to the center. He was all defense last year. He's your second leading scorer. The guy is built to play playoff basketball because of his size and strength and speed. Like the physicality of playoff basketball versus regular season basketball fits his game anyway. To go from that to the first 40 games of a regular season, especially taking into account like November, December, and early January games, to get to the point that this guy is at least expendable, perhaps, to me, is such a massive overstep on evaluating the NBA if you've watched this league for any amount of time.
It's a fact, man. I mean, you got to watch the games. Like my man KG said, you got to watch the games, Lord. You got to watch the games. You got to see what's going on. But it's I've been saying, like, we see these teams. We see Houston. We see the ascension of San Antonio. We see Denver and what they're doing. You see New York and what they're going through right now. We got injuries all over the place. We got different guys stepping up in their roles. Bones Highland, you know, shout out to Caleb Love doing well in Portland. Like, it's just the season. We got to see how everything plays out. And that's my only thing is just being able to like watch the games, observe it like from the outside in and not being in it is different. There's guys in there, you like, why is he thinking like that? Because he in it right now. Why do you think like that? Because I'm not in it no more. So it's like, it's just different in how you look at it. But at the end of the day, man, guys got to be able to step up. This is the time of the season. It's almost all-star coming up soon. That's kind of the dog days. We kind of coming
Yeah.
to the dog for all-star. Then right after all-star, everything kind of pick back up. So we'll see how everything move, man. But I'm just loving how the NBA is now. Like, you don't know who's going to beat who. You don't know where anybody's going to be seated other than the top teams. I'm looking at the Orlandos, the Clevelands, on the West Coast, like who's going to step up on that side? Is Portland anybody can step up on any side and make that push.
I want to talk about the All Star game, but before we do that, I just to kind of continue on this thought for one more second. Players played really well on Monday. Isaiah Joe was fantastic, right? Aaron Wiggins was fantastic. Chet seemed to, I think, play with an extra level of assertiveness offensively. And you can speak to this. I mean, I think you lose a guy like J-Dub and you see how well maybe some of the other supporting cast plays. There is sort of I guess from the perspective of a role player type guy or somebody coming off the bench, when you know your minutes are going to be elevated and you know that they are counting on you because of injuries and you know you're going to play, probably a little bit easier to get into that rhythm as opposed to sitting there not knowing necessarily what role you might play on any given night. And when J-Dub's out there, that's the case, right? Isaiah Joe probably doesn't know what his minutes are going to be like when everybody's healthy. Same thing for Aaron Wiggins. When you're out as many players as the Thunder are out right now, there's a different mentality, I would assume, going into every game when Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins know for a fact that they're going to be relied on to play heavy minutes and that they're going to have to be leaned on to do a little bit more. You kind of prepare for that in a different way than just like, maybe my name's going to be called tonight for heavy minutes, maybe it's not.
That's being ready. That's staying ready. Not being ready, staying ready. And that's why I can say like all the guys on the that's why I say they go 9 deep in terms of the roster because those guys already know that anything could happen and I'm already ready to play. I can start if I need to. You can tell me that morning that shoot around, I'm starting. I'm on. It's on right now. And that's the difference between the Thunder and a lot of other teams. It's a few teams that's like that. San Antonio's like that. I feel like Denver is probably like that. Um, Boston is probably like that a little bit. They're not as deep, but like it's teams that have those kind of guys with that kind of pedigree. That's like I'm up next. Okay, it's on. I already know. You already know when somebody 9 times out of 10, if you a player and you a role player or off the bench guy, you know when one of the guys is hurt or they're gonna sit out before they even tell you. So even though you already work on your game, you locked in, you already know that I gotta ramp it up even more before the next game or the next road trip or anything like that. And those are the guys that's already prepared to come in and be productive. You ain't got to do what J Dub did or what J Dub does. You just got to come in and be serviceable. Like let me like show us that you've been preparing yourself and working for this opportunity because you're not just auditioning for this role in this moment with this team. It's 29 other teams. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like you're working for that. You want to get you in that contract, you got to make sure that they see that you're that kind of professional. You that kind of guy that's gonna step in and put work in and step in that role that you need to step into and shine in that moment. So that's what it is. But that's the league. That's everywhere. That was my mentality. Like it's not just here. It's got to be somewhere else that they see this and respect the grind and the work that we putting in. And that's what makes those kind of teams better than everybody else. It separates those elite teams from the everybody else.
All right, you mentioned dog days. It's almost the All Star break. Let's jump into some All Star conversation. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was voted one of the 5 Western Conference starters, which to me is completely idiotic. Not that Shea was voted, but that we're still voting for East and West when the format is not even East versus West. So I don't know why the hell there's an Eastern Conference starting 5 and a Western Conference starting 5, because really there's going to be 3 All Star teams, right? And then we have like this 4th like rookie team. But there's going to be 3 8-man all-star teams. 1 8-man team is made up of the world players, anybody not from the United States. Then we have 2 teams of 8 made up of United States players. And then there's going to be that rookie team. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing that we're like changing the format, but in some weird way, like holding on to the voting process, which doesn't really make sense for this new format. But all that said, Shea is in. I kind of wondered if Chet was going to be an all-star, and sort of after looking at things, I would be beyond shocked if Chet wasn't an all-star. And there's a couple reasons why I say that, but what are your thoughts on Chet being named an all-star?
I wanted to ask you that first.
Okay.
I'll answer it. I
Okay.
want to hear you.
So initially, when I just thought, is Chet going to be an all star, I had a little pause. I thought probably, but I wasn't 100% sure. As soon as I put about 10 minutes of thought into it, I thought absolutely there's 0% chance in my mind that Chet Holmgren is not an all star. And the biggest reason why, when you look at the international team, the world players, it's Shea and Luka in the backcourt, but outside of that, it's the best bigs in the entire NBA, right? It's Wemby, it's Giannis, it's Jokic. If you start looking at the reserves, you probably got Sengun potentially in there, Denny Avdija, or however you say his name, from Portland. And you start thinking about the U.S. team or the 2 teams of 8 for the U.S., like who are the bigs? Because the starters are Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, and Jaylen Brown. So the 5 starters for voted starters that would be on the American teams, none of those guys are bigs. You start thinking about the next group of guys that would be on the roster: Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Johnson. None of those guys are bigs. So, I mean, your options really to field 2 teams of 8, you have to have at least 1 or 2 bigs on each of those. Your options are Chet Holmgren, Jalen Duren, Evan Mobley, Bam Adebayo. And I think all those guys are worthy of being all-stars. I would argue that Chet being the only second other player on the best team in the NBA, not to mention the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year, averaging essentially the same numbers as all of those guys, he's a lock.
I said the same thing when I saw that come across my screen. I said, no star American bigs is crazy. Now I understand AD's hurt, because I would have him in there. But Chet should be on that list for sure. But I'm like, Chet not on there. Where's Bam? Like that was the other. I was thinking about the bigs.
Yeah.
We talking about like Ant Man. We talking about Don. Um, I understand that, but I'm like, y'all got five guards essentially going against like,
Yeah.
what's that like? You got 6'11", 7'2", 7'5". You know what I'm saying? I mean, and this is another thing that I say. I'm like, look, because this whole thing about I have conversations with people all the time. They ask me about international versus American, and I'm like, man, that shit don't even matter no more. The league is what it is. Luca is gonna be Luca. Wimby is gonna be Wimby. It's gonna be what it is. Şengün gonna be like it's gonna be what it is. It's just where the league is at right now. And they like, how can we save American basketball? Ain't no saving nothing. If you like that, you like that. If you not, you not. You can't teach 7'5" with all the guard skills. Just like we couldn't teach 6'11" with all the guard skills. Kevin Durant. You can't teach Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? You can't even teach Anthony Edwards. You see what these people like? It doesn't matter. If you like that, you like that. It's no discussion. It's just a story to tell in the media. The guys, you can't teach what Jokic does. We don't even understand it, which is what
Right.
you know what I'm saying. Like you don't understand it. It's just what it is. The game has evolved. If the game's not evolving, bro, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I would
taking
make
the
the
world
argument the
team,
five
I'm
best play.
taking.
Go ahead.
I'm putting on the world team straight up. I don't care about none of that.
Yeah. The five best players in the NBA are all world players.
Yeah,
Jokic and Shea, I think, are 1A and 1B as the best player in basketball worldwide. And then the next three are in some order Giannis, Wimby, and Luka.
that's it.
I mean, those are the best five players in the world. And then we have the conversation about probably KD and Anthony Edwards next, right?
Yeah, outside of Steph, Ant Man, KD, who we turning the TV on to watch? John Morant, maybe. Outside of them four, who we turning the TV on to watch? We love LeBron, but Bron older, he ain't playing as
Yeah.
much. Who we turning the TV? Oh, the Lakers playing? We looking for Luca. We watching Denver play. I don't even like really watching Denver play, but I'm going to see what Jokic does.
100%.
I hate watching Milwaukee, but Giannis playing. I gotta watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta watch
Yeah.
it. What it is, bro. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that definitely should be in the All-Star game for sure. I mean, you on the best team in the league, and you're the second best player, in my opinion. Second or third, teet is between him and J Dub, because J Dub is more
J
impactful
Dub's the
right
second best, but within this season, it's fair to say Chet's the second best this season because J Dub's
now.
suffered through injuries and hasn't been able to come back fully.
Yeah, I give you that. Yeah. Yeah, Chet should definitely be in there, man. Chet's having a great season. I think he got a couple more levels he can go to though. Like I see Chet like
No
getting
doubt.
to he could be like a 24-12 dude one day. You know what I'm saying? For like a few years.
I mean, we talked about this in the San Antonio series. Like, Wimby plays with an aggressiveness, I think, against Chet that Chet hasn't seemed to match so far. And I think when Chet gets to that point where he's playing with that same level of aggressiveness that Wimby is, Chet's game still has, like you said, levels to go. And when that mentality gets to that point, I mean, the sky is the limit for what he can ultimately be. But there's also, like, I think you got to have some massive appreciation for the fact that he's not forcing it as, like, the third guy on this championship team. I mean, there's probably not a lot of guys like Chet Holmgren that could be drafted number 2 overall in the draft, have the unicorn type of skill set that he has, go to a team and just accept being like the third option. A lot of guys would be like, I need to be the star. I need to be the guy that everything runs through, and ego sort of gets in the way. And he's not forced anything. He's kind of just found his niche within the team, and he's allowed it to kind of come to himself. So, there's, I think, like this back and forth about his game where it's like he needs to do more, he can do more, and then there's also like you have to have the appreciation that he's not forcing it. But as he gets older, he'll find spots where he can, I think, level up.
I need Chet to be a dog, Cole.
Yeah.
I understand all that, not forcing it and being under. I need him to be a killer, like for real. Like I need Chet to take over a playoff game, game six, Western Conference Finals, 44-13. I
Yeah.
need him and yelling and screaming, get a tech. I need him to be crazy. Like I need Chet to go Kevin Garnett type shit. I need him to be like that. I love what he did. He's a great player. I love Chet so much. Like for real, I had the pleasure, I was working over there for a little bit. Man, listen, I need Chet to be a dog every day of his life. They got to be scared of him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he the only one because Shea got the ball. Of course, Shea's the guy. J Dub do his thing. Everybody got their role, but Chet got to be the one that's like, man, we got to see him in the morning. We got to see him tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. I got to see him. They got to be scared of him because can't nobody really guard him when he on one like that. You can shoot, you got handle, and you got moves. Be a dog. He done
Yeah.
got stronger. He's more durable now, less injuries. Yeah, go out there, put it all on the line. Show them who you are, bro. That's gonna separate Oklahoma City because Wemby already getting that now. That's dangerous for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's why I need Chet to be like, bro. Everybody got to be scared. We don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want from Chet. I
Yeah.
love you, Chet. I know y'all be watching. This
I
the
thought,
OG, bro.
I mean, to your point, I thought having both J Dub and Isaiah Hartenstein out of the lineup against Cleveland, I mean, that was probably the most aggressive we've seen Chet this entire season.
Yeah, he got to be like that no matter who on the court.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Totally agree.
That's all I'm saying. No matter what, it's like, yeah, he get it. Triple team. I'm watching Ant-Man. I'm watching these dudes. It's like, yo, I already know what they're gonna do. They're gonna triple team me. They're gonna blitz me. Like I need them to feel like that about Chet. You know what I'm saying? Because he got all the tools, all the intangibles, everything. He a machine. He got to go and activate that, but it got to be every day. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. Nobody can guard him, in my opinion.
Yeah. I totally agree. Do you like, I mean, the mini tournament all star format? I know, like, I'm not necessarily a big fan of the world versus America type thing. I am kind of curious though about the mini tournament with like the 4 8-man teams.
All that's weird, bro. All of it is weird. Just like the cup, the NBA Cup, all that
Yeah,
shit is weird.
yeah,
Like All-Star game is All-Star game. I'm not mad at the world versus the US because if they're making this big deal about the talent discrepancy and the development discrepancy overseas and in America, all right, put them against each other and let the world watch. I think that'd be good for overseas and in America. I'm
yeah.
not mad at that. But all
If
this
we're gonna do that
18,
though, let's just have a full on world versus America game and not these like little mini tournaments where
yeah,
we're
what is the
splitting
what are
half
we
the
doing? Mini
Americans into two
tournaments in the
teams.
All-Star game for?
Yeah,
What, what are we doing that for? Just put world versus America and just do it like that. If
right.
y'all want to, like, what do we compartmentalize in the All Star? Is diminishing anything that we ever grew up on in terms of All Star Weekend. Nobody's watching all that. We barely watch it now. Only thing I watch is the 3-point contest. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand all that, man. It doesn't make sense. I like the regular format, or if you're gonna do world versus America, just do it like that. Put the rosters together, stack them up, and then go from there. I think that'd be way more entertaining than watching like a regular All Star game where they're scoring 400 points total.
Yeah.
You can't even bet on the game.
Well, I
You
mean,
know?
that's why they're trying to change it, right? I mean, like there's the idea that nobody plays any defense, so the lack of like competitive fire is what has killed the ratings and killed people's excitement in it. So how do you fix that? I guess is the question because I agree with you, but I also like agree that if you're not doing anything to solve what is clearly an issue, then you're also failing. So how do you get over that hurdle?
World versus America.
Just
That's the
all
only
out,
thing.
48 minutes.
Yeah, like line it up.
Yeah,
And then you market that like who's better? Since y'all talking about we don't develop over here in America, we don't develop our players anymore. AU is ruined basketball, the narrative, and then all guys from overseas have taken over the NBA, line them up and market it like that. Plain and simple.
Yep.
No 8 teams and all these, none of that. Put the best players over here in America, put the best players from overseas over here and line them up.
And give me 9-man rosters. I don't need 12 or 13. I don't need to watch like the entire second quarter with the end of the bench all-stars. Like we want to see Shea and Luka on the floor against like Steph and Cade Cunningham. Like we want to see the premier all-stars playing against the premier all-stars. So if we're going to go 48 minutes, let's go 9-man rosters.
Everybody can't go, Cole.
That's right. That's
now,
right.
9 and 9.
9 and 9. Like I almost went 8 and 8, but I was like, I'll give them one extra.
Oh, we get 10 and 10?
No. I was almost at 8 and 8, but I thought I'll give them one extra and make it 9 and 9.
Yeah, because you get like, it's a lot. It's some guys. Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell. Like you gotta put some guys over there.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys hurt. We would have Jason Tatum, but then on the other side, you got Şengün and all these. I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, I want to see.
World wins by double digits easy in that scenario.
Watch them take this and do this next year, bro. Watch. They're watching us, bro. They're watching us.
They'll just make it an all-out world versus America 48-minute game.
Into existence. Yeah, into existence.
Yeah. We'll and they can send us that check can be payable to Beyond the Arc, episode 12. That's right. That's right.
Definitely go ahead and Cash App up and all that. You got Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, whatever you want to do.
That's right. I'll make sure to put that in the bio. They can hit send as soon as and we have more ideas. So if they ever need to go back to the drawing board, we got you. All right, man. We are out of time. One thing I did want to get to today, we'll try to get to it next week. Last week we saw the College Football National Championship with Indiana and Miami. And in the days leading up to the game, I had a few friends that told me about going on recruiting trips that played college football to Miami and how crazy those recruiting trips were. And basically, like, the recruiting trips were so great that they thought, I can't go to Miami because I'm never going to play football there if I actually go because of the distractions. But some really funny recruiting trip stories. So next time, I want to hear your best recruiting trip story when you were getting recruited to play college basketball. So we'll hit that next week. But we're out of time this week. It's going to be a lot of fun with the All-Star game coming up and a lot more conversations, especially about the trade deadline this time next week. That's Anthony Morrow. I'm Colby Daniels. Everybody have a great week.
Peace, brother.